What if Terrakion was in Gen 1 OU? Special thanks to Zach and Theas, both for waiting a really long time for me to finally make this video, as well as just being a good and supportive fan in general. So, Terrakion, he is a fighting type. Definitely one of those fighting types of all time. And at the very least, unlike other fighting types in Gen 1, I think he has a significantly better chance. Being a legendary definitely helps. Being a rock type, which is good against the best type in the game, normal, also helps. But I think by far the best things going for Terrakion is Sword Stance and his speed stat. Because 108 speed is crazy. He outspeeds like the vast majority of the metagame. He is unfortunately only 2 points away from having a speed tie with Gengar and Tauros, which you really wish you were always equal to speed to them. But 108 still isn't bad. Like, it's faster than Jinx, it's faster than Cloyster, faster than like pretty much almost everything for the most part. And even if like it isn't faster than some other things it wishes it was faster than, 108 speed still gives it an amazing crit rate, which we cannot ignore. So overall, like, what else does he really have? Because, you know, base 90 what's it called, defense is pretty good. And even if it gets base 72 special instead of 90, 72 is still technically better than Tauros' special. Only by 2 points, but it's still something. As for moves, I decided not to give Terrakion Sacred Sword, as I feel like that would make it a little too good. Giving it the ability to just, you know, delete normal types with a very powerful and very consistent fighting move, I think would be a little too strong. And I don't think the inclusion of the psychic types would really help it. So what else would we give it? Well, obviously this Earthquake, and obviously Rock Spike 2. These are like the main two moves you're always going to have on it. It gives you perfect coverage in Gen 1. Sword Stance, obviously. And outside of that, Quick Attack probably isn't worth it. Reflect might be worth it, unironically, because one of your main counters is Earthquake. So being able to tank those up a little bit as you set up Sword Stance, it can actually work. Like, I think it's actually worth looking into. If not that, then... oh, I suppose he does have Double Kick. I'm actually not sure if Double Kick is worth it or not. Because... well, I guess he does have a good crit rate. If not for Double Kick, there's like Hyper Beam, which is also good. But I also think Reflect's also really good. So you know what? I already made a whole bunch of replays, but I kind of want to make more. Because now I'm really curious just to see how good Double Kick actually is. Because this right here actually seems like pretty good coverage. You have Sap Rock Slide, and then you have just like good consistent Earthquake to help you with like Gengar and Rhydon. But Double Kick, especially if that gets a crit. Ooh, now I'm curious. Let's go over the first few replays, shall we? Always starting off with the boy himself, Tauros. And unfortunately, like with Tauros being faster and just having Earthquake, it's really annoying. You don't have enough time to really set anything up against him. At the very least, though, with your crit rate, even if you don't have a Sword Stance up, you can put up a little bit of a fight. But for the most part, Tauros is just always going to win. If not by being faster, then by murdering you with a crit. Depending on the Snorlax set, it can be very easy, especially with Sword Stance. But with Reflect, it becomes significantly more annoying, which you hate to see. However, like other sets, which is like whether it be Amnesia or if it's just like a mostly normal attacking set, you don't really care about. Now, even if it's just like a Reflect set, but without Earthquake exactly, you're fine. You can take it out easily. Now, for Chansey is a legitimately good matchup. because, well, I mean, obviously, like, Chansey can't really hurt you that much, other than, like, Seismic Toss. And while Paralysis is annoying, it's not the worst thing in the world. But right now, I'm actually making another, Chansey. Because now I really want to see just how strong Double Kick actually can be. And I want to see how good it does even without a crit. So, after this replay, or I guess I could just, like, challenge on my phone, actually. So let's see here. Round back. Then challenge the custom games. So yeah, let's just find this out right now, shall we? Let's see how good Double Kick is. I totally forgot he had this. So just an unboosted Double Kick. Holy crap! A crit is just an Oko. Okay, that's already a big deal. Let's try that again and see what a non-crit does. And that also shows there that a crit, or not a crit, a sword stance also just Okos. Oh my gosh. Even just a non-crit does that much to Chansey? Okay then. For the next replay, I'll get a Twirl Sting ready. For Alakazam though, you just get deleted. There's nothing you can do. Unfortunate. But I don't think anyone's really surprised. I really don't. Now let's see how Tauros does with Double Kick. Is this one I'm also really curious about. So Earthquake still does, a good amount of damage. But Double Kick does like half. Okay, interesting. Terrakion actually wins the 1v1 with Double Kick. Okay. Okay. This significantly changes things. So, for the next one, this is with Cloyster. And Terrakion has a much better matchup here, but Clamp can be very dangerous. Because not only does a crit, just like, absolutely destroy you, but at the same time, like, you could be unlucky here and just get 5 times in a row with Cloyster. So it's could go either way, but even though, Terrakion's faster, it's probably in Cloyster's favor. But at the same time, though, like, Terrakion does have a very good crit rate. Oh, I forgot. Whatever. I'll challenge again. Let's see how Reflect Wax does against Double Kick Terrakion. I'd imagine not very good, because even if, like, you get Reflect Up, you still have Sword Stance. So let's look at this, shall we? Yes, that also does pretty much half health. And Terrakion can just, Sword Stance, even if Snorlax gets an Earthquake. Like, it does a lot of damage, sure, but not that bad, honestly. So Snorlax can rest, but then if we go for Double Kick again, it does so much damage, and that's with Reflect. Okay, I was a fool for not really considering Double Kick at the start. Or maybe I just forgot that Double Kick was like a move Terrakion can use. But that seriously changes just how good this thing actually is. Like, oh my gosh. Alright, so enough for the distractions. Let's just get on to the video as normal. It should be how my YouTube videos go by now. But yeah, but now we all know. Don't mess with Double Kick Terrakion. It's surprisingly really relevant. What isn't relevant is how good Terrakion does against Exeggutor. No one's surprised. It's just a slaughter. And especially now that, like, I think I just found out that the most optimal moveset for Terrakion doesn't even involve Hyper Beam. There's really no shot at Terrakion being able to hurt Exeggutor. And as for Gengar, it's could go either way. Like, you have Earthquake, it really hurts. It unlike Gengar Psychic, a Terrakion's Earthquake is a guaranteed Oko on a crit. And even like a non-critical, like, does a lot of damage. But also at the same time it's Gengar. So I don't know who has the better off here. I think it just depends on if you're more willing to, like, risk your Gengar. but I truly don't know. But it doesn't really matter, if I'm being honest. And then for Jolteon, there's nothing I can really say here. Jolteon can either paralyze it, which Terrakion legitimately gets annoyed about, or Jolteon can just get a decent amount of damage in, assuming it doesn't get a crit. But Terrakion can also get a crit. So, I would still call it a good matchup for Terrakion, not so much Cuckoo either way. But it also just depends on how much you hate paralysis. Meanwhile, Jinx is Terrakion's only great matchup, because Terrakion can just very easily outspeed and just OHKO with Rock Slide. So I actually do think that Terrakion could be a pretty good anti-lead, now that I really think about it. And then Rhydon. This might be a case where you might need to have Reflect, because Earthquake does a lot of damage to you, and even a Sword Stance only does like 80% the Rhydon. So actually, if that's the case, maybe you don't even need Rock Slide. Maybe you have like, or actually no, like maybe you have some sets you replace Sword Stance with Reflect. I don't know, but it seems that Terrakion actually has options, which you would not expect for a fighting type in Gen 1. And then Swelbro is an unwinnable matchup regardless of what moveset you use. Swelbro doesn't even need the Paralyze. It just needs to go for like a single Amnesia, then it could probably just murder with Surf. And even like a non-bike boosted Surf, I imagine would do a lot of damage. We only got 2 more left, and one of them is Starmie. Spoiler alert, Double Kick does not do much to Starmie. Sorry if you were hoping that a crit would do a decent chip damage. Starmie can just kill you with Surf or Psychic. And even if it's using Bullet Beam coverage, it's so good against Terrakion, and Terrakion has no real way of really hurting Starmie. So, as for the last one, last but not least, we always gotta go with Zapdos. And being faster than Zapdos is a really big deal. It helps you a lot. It pretty much means that Zapdos, it has like no real chance against you unless it gets a crit or already has an agility off. So being able to hit very hard Rock Slide, it's really good. Now the tier list, we gotta change a little bit. Because now, Chansey goes from great, and then Tauros actually goes to could go either way. But everything else, I would say it's the same. Maybe Magikarp should be moved to good matchups, considering it is a water type, but who knows. Anyways though, here's the list. For a fighting type, I think Terrakion did a lot better than I usually would do. And at first, I wasn't really sure if Terrakion would be OU or not. But now that I see just how strong Double Kick is on it, I'm convinced that it would be. And I do think there would be a legitimate reason to use it over Rhydon. Although Rhydon would also have its advantages. It would probably still be the better ground type. But at the very least, Terrakion can still make use of its fighting typing, which is cool. Also, Jolteon might go to Borderline because now Double Kick just is useless on it. So, Kick W, rip. Anyways though, one thing I do have to say before we end is that, AJ, one of the people in my server, has now made a Google Doc for the Generation Jumble. So in the description of this video and in the comments, there will be a link that will have, like, every single Pokemon I've done. And you get to vote for 10 Pokemon that I actually put, or Pokemon you would like to see in the Generation Jumble, which will be starting very soon. And, you also just join the Discord, it's also very cool. Thank you all for watching. This is Groundback, and I look forward to hearing from you.